Okay, this little wire tool is made by Brockhage, and it's a bypass tool for Kwikset locks. And I'm going to demonstrate how this works. I purchased this tool. It was about $40, I believe, for it from lockpicks.com by Brockhage. It does come with directions and so on as to how to use it. So on some Kwikset locks, kind of the cheaper Kwikset locks, if you look here on the outside knob, back here on the rose plate where this indentation is, has an indentation on both sides. If we can move this forward, just grab that and slide that forward, we can see that there's a little hole. You can see if you move this rose plate forward, there's a little hole on, again, it's on some of these locks, more the number 3 grade locks that have this. And if we can scoot this up and access that hole, we can stick the wire through there and unlock the lock. If there is no hole, you could drill a small hole and still do the same thing, but then you would need to repair the hole with JB weld or some similar material. Now this spindle in this lock is black, so it's a little bit harder to see. But you're all familiar, I'm sure, with the normal Kwikset spindle and the locking mechanism and the way it works by now. But we're going to bring the wire up and grab this spindle, and there's a little tab right here. We're going to push that tab down. And so to start from the outside, you would come through the hole, work the wire up over the top of the spindle and then down onto the locking tab, and then just force the tab down and the lock will be unlocked. Then just take the tip of the tool and put it in to the little hole, and then gently work the tool up in there. It should not be hard to get it in there. If you're having to force the tool, take it back out and start over. It's just a matter of getting it turned to the right angle. And so it's up in there now. Now when I point the handle towards me, it's pointed out away from the door, then I know the tip of that tool is pointing down. And I can feel for that spindle. Okay, I can feel the spindle. You can probably hear that tool scratching on it. Okay, now once I'm on top of the spindle, I push back on the handle towards the door to make sure that the tip of the tool is all the way forward. So if I push back on the handle, it brings the tip forward towards the back of the lock where the locking tab is. And so I get on top of the spindle, I do that, and then I listen. And I'll just be quiet and you can hear the tool scratching on the spindle. I may have unlocked it. I accidentally unlocked it doing that. I'm going to lock it back. I wasn't quite ready to unlock it. Okay, so I can feel it, and it just came off the spindle, so it should be on the locking tab. Then I pull the tab and it's unlocked. So again, now it does take some practice to do that. And any tool you get, of course, you want to practice in the shop before you try to go out on the job and do it. But what I was saying about this tip of this tool here is that when the handle comes out and points out away from the door, you see it points the tip of the tool down. And that's how you want it. You want it pointed down to grab that little tab with and pull that tab down. Now this tool will also work on a smart lock. So if you have a smart lock, that's one way to bypass if you have it on a knob. I've already shown the lever handle tool to release on a lever handle, but on a knob lock, you could use that tool to get this lock open. You know that it has the same mechanism in the back as the one that we just opened. The only problem is that the hole is oftentimes not underneath this rose right here. And so oftentimes you have to drill your own hole. Okay, now I push this rose forward so you can see where the little tab is at. Notice that there's no hole. So you would have to drill a hole there, and probably an 1/8 inch bit would be big enough. Keep it towards the top up here, away from the door so you don't scratch the door. In fact, it'd be a good idea to tape something on the door to help protect the door from your drill and from the bits slipping down. And then if you do drill the hole, you need to take the lock off once you get the door open. Take the lock off and use some JB weld and repair that back so there's no hole there, and then make sure that the rose fits back on like it's supposed to. Now, I'm not going to take any more video time to do this, but you can see that if you have the hole right here where you'd have to drill the hole at, you come right in, and again you can come right up on top of that tab and you can pull that tab down just like we did the other lock. So it will work on the smart lock also. Okay, now this is a new tool that has not been out for too long. I have demonstrated the Lishi tools in the automotive courses, but they have now come out with tools that will work the Schlage keyways and the Kwikset keyways. And so I wanted to go ahead and include those in this revision so you're aware of these tools. Okay, so here's the scale. It's on the handle of the tool, and this is the little indicator, the little thin piece of metal right here. See it? It moves around with the pick tool. So this is both a pick tool and a decoder tool. And if I'm lined up right there on the 5, I'll be under the 5 pin. Here I'm under the 4 pin. Here I'm under the 3 pin, 2 and 1, and so on. Now once the plug is picked and turned, we can come under each one of the pins and then press down on the back of the handle, which is going to press up on the front of the tool, and it's going to trap the pin inside the plug, and we can measure it. So say that right here, if I'm on the number 5 pin right there, that would be a 6 cut. If it's up a little bit, that would be a 7 cut. If I'm on the number 4 pin right here, I can see that that's a 5 cut. So again, once the plug is picked, that's how you would read the pins so you could cut the key to work the lock. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to demonstrate this on a Schlage knob lock with an F cylinder, and we'll see if we can pick the lock open and decode the pins in the lock and cut a key for it. Okay, so make sure the tool's all the way in, and I'm going to try to pick the number 1 pin first. Okay, I think the number 1 pin is picked. You see how that tool is just staying down? There's no spring pressure. Maybe I got it. We just heard number 5 pick. Or 3 might have picked. No, let's see. 3 may be picked. 4. Okay, there we go. We got it. So now the lock is in the picked position. So now we read the pins and see what we have. So for the number 5 pin, again, if you look right here, this is our gauge. Like there's an 8 showing there, and if I come down, it's coming down below the 8. It looks like a 7. So number 5, it measures a 7. Let's see about number 4. Okay, number 4 is a 5. down below the 6, so it's a 5. So number 4 measures 5. Okay, let's see what the number 3 pin measures. Okay, number 3 measures an 8. So on this second line here, it's the 8. So number 3 is an 8. Let's see what number 2 measures. Okay, number 2 doesn't come down at all. That's a 9 pin. You can see the indicator just comes down to the top line, which is for the 9 cut. Now 1 doesn't come down to the 3. So I'm going to call 1 a 4. So we'd have 49857 would be what that would measure. So we can cut the key to that and see if it'll work. So you want to make sure that it's unlocked before you take your tool out. Then go ahead and turn it back and take your tool out. Cut your key for it, and the key hopefully is going to fit that and work okay. Okay, I've cut a key for the lock, 49857. You can see that the 49857 key works the lock fine. Okay, I have a standard storefront lock here. I have it in my vise, and I'm going to show you a potential method of bypassing this lock. This method is for the ones that have the flip bolt. It's not for the storefront locks that have the latch that retracts with the key. It's just for the flip bolt locks. Okay, now this is the wire. This is just a clothes hanger wire. It's not a real thick one. It's not a real thin one. It's kind of a medium type clothes hanger wire. And I've just taken a pair of needle nose pliers and turned up the end of the wire right here. And then you measure down 1 5/8 inches and bend the wire 90 degrees. And what we're going to try to do is slide the wire up inside the lock and again release this bolt. Okay, again looking through the back side of the lock, you can see that what we're trying to grab is right here. And if you watch there, I'll take the wire and grab that. So the wire goes in, and then it turns up, and you pull on it and try to grab this little pin right here. There's a little pin that we're going to try to grab a hold of. And then if we just give a little bit of pressure, it's possible to release that lock and open the lock like that. When you turn the key, the cam on the back of the lock moves this piece of metal right here. And that's what we're trying to get a hold of. So you see, if I can get that wire in there and grab that pin, again it's grabbing right on the pin on the back of this lever here, and just kind of tug, not real hard because your wire will come off, but just enough that you can get that to release, and the bolt will go down and the door is open. Now there are companies that sell preformed wires that you can buy that will try to do the same thing, and you can buy those and try it, make your own wire, see what works best for you. Please take just a moment to like the video and also subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.